I go over variations of side laterals. This is an exercise that I see basically butchered a lot. So I'm gonna go over all the different variations. Standing, what you want is basically when you stand upright and kind of let these dangle in front of you. So you want a stretch, okay? So if I'm standing and I'm letting them dangle, I'm bringing everything up. And notice how I'm controlling the weight. Yes, these are really light because I'm just demonstrating, but I'm not swinging. I'm not like doing this. Everything's nice and controlled. So the big thing is think about your shoulder as the pivot point. So if you think in that way, and basically everything's elongated, you want the weight the furthest away from the lever as possible. So everything is away. When you sit into like a seated machine, usually they have the pads that kind of hit you here and they have a handle here. That, like, don't think that, just still put your elbow down and just elbow drive. So you're basically driving that elbow up. And everyone, when they do this, they always think weights, where's the weights? So always think of your hands as hooks. It's just, this is where you're grabbing onto the weight. If I could somehow cement this to my hand, it would be a hell of a lot easier. But basically, just think they're there and there's nothing you can do about it. So you're just raising it up. So it's controlled all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down. So that is basically your standing side lateral. Next, we're gonna get into like a seated. Again, you always wanna sit near the edge because you basically want these dangling down here. You want that stretch, like everyone, even if you're sitting up like this, you want a little bit more of a stretch. So up. And notice everything's nice and controlled. I'm driving the elbow up to parallel, not thinking about where the weight is. I'm not bending my elbow like this and trying to, which is most of the time what I'm seeing is this. Like they're trying to bend their arm to make it go up higher. It's just elbow. As long as your elbow, like it's basically a straight line through your arm. You're coming up to here and it's like almost like there's a pull from hand to hand all the way across. Yes, if you come over to the side of me here, the dumbbells are a little bit in front. Like I'm not in a correct T, like I'm not back like this. They're out just a hair to the front. So nice, everything's up like this. As you can tell, when I'm doing this, I'm basically just rotating my chest up. And the only ways I'm doing that is basically to add that extra couple of inches to the rep range. So if I just come up like this, I'm stopping. But if I come up, I'm getting like an extra few inches. So I want that full range. I want that full stretch and dangle here, up, all the way down to dangle, up, up. So that is your seated. So the next one I see a lot is against the bench. So if you're gonna do this is realistically is more like a front delt or even like a rear delt position. But if you're gonna do a side lateral, all you're doing is going to the side. It's like, this would be, I would consider like a Y or a V because you're coming more up into the front. I really wouldn't even consider this a side lateral, but a lot of people do. So if you're doing this, more so do it in like a Y or a V. So if you're looking at my body, I'm basically from my head down to my feet, and then I'm doing a Y with my arms. All right, so that is exercise number 3. All right, so the last exercise I'm gonna go over today is a cable. So even though I don't believe a cable is a great side lateral, like I'd much rather see you do a dumbbell side lateral or a machine side lateral, like a pin loaded that actually is 4 side laterals. This one is just, I don't know. I don't see the point, but I will demonstrate it anyways. So a lot of the things you see with this is people come up and they want to go they want to just jerk this thing way above their arm. Or realistically, as I've mentioned numerous times, I don't believe going above parallel is needed. So if you want to do it in that fashion, what I would recommend is bringing your feet right up against the pulley here, grab a hold of the pole, and lean yourself out. So in doing that, you're creating a stretch. So now there is a stretch in my shoulder, my deltoid. So when you bring up, you're going, and yes, if you can tell, I'm standing up, I am above. So I am going a little bit above. I'm basically playing the devil's advocate, and I'm helping both sides. Even though I don't agree with it, basically if you do this, you are stretching a bit, and you're coming up. Big thing I'm creating here is a stretch at the bottom. So stretch at the bottom and up. If you feel that you're not getting the most out of it, or you're feeling more in the rear delt, all you really have to do is step over. So it's basically where a dumbbell would be. You're still gonna grab a hold of this, you're still gonna get that stretch. There you go. So sets and reps for any of these exercises, my personal recommendation would be anywhere from that 12 to 15 rep range. I like doing supersets with side laterals. So I would superset it with front raises or a rear delt exercise, because I want as much blood into the shoulder as possible. And that's just my philosophy. It's something that I've done for quite some time with my shoulders, and it works for me. So I always kind of superset it with something else, but anywhere from 12 to 15 rep range. Big thing is control the weight, get the stretch. And I sound like a broken record, but control the weight from top to bottom. If you just are swinging it and you can't hold it up there at the very top, it's too heavy for you. You're not you're just doing, all you're doing is swinging, and you're not doing anything for you. You're just making yourself feel good. So at the end of the day, all these side laterals, they are good. I would prefer the dumbbell over these. The leaning against the bench is more of like an in-between of a front raise and a side lateral. It's more like a Y raise. And so that would be kind of my thought processes on all four of those ones that I kind of showed you today. So hit that like, hit that subscribe. I'm gonna start bringing some more information bi-weekly every week, and let's get this stuff together and show you guys some more information.